Hey there, comic book fans. Here I am with yesterday's comics. Got 7 of them in all. Plus, I bought a book that I didn't know existed before last week. But we'll start out with my Top of the Printer Museum covers. This is what I had on top of my printer all week to look at. Hulk 168, a Herb Trimpe cover. I always liked this issue. I didn't have this issue as a kid, but I had the Marvel Treasury edition that was reprinted in, and I always liked it. And here's the Atomics. What number is this? Hold on, I can't see. Atomics number 8. Mike Allred. He did a lot of nice covers for the Atomics. If you're ever looking for some nice comic book covers, the Atomics has a bunch of them. So I had those on top of my printer. Herb Trimpe pencils, Herb Trimpe inks. I don't know if I mentioned that. But both fun to look at on all week as I walked by them. Let's see the first comic that I got here is Frank Frazetta's Mothman. This is issue number 3. Right? It's been a while since issue number 2 came out, I think. And I'd refer to this as comedy horror. I enjoyed the other Frank Frazetta book that just ended, Death Dealer. They put out a couple of other Frank Frazetta books. But this one was fun. I liked the first issue of it, so I put it on my pull list. And here's issue 3. What else? So we got the new issue of Damn Them All, issue 10. I always refer to this as what if John Constantine had a niece that took over the magic stuff of the family. So it's it's kind of a continuation of DC's Hellblazer in a way. And Charlie Adler, the Walking Dead artist, is just killing it on this. He's just doing such a good job, I gotta say. I'm really impressed. There seems to be an extra amount of writing in this issue. These pages I show you, I'm like, where's the art? There we go. There's some art for you. And I think, who's the writer on this? Simon Spurrier. My opinion is he tends to overwrite sometimes reading this book. But it's good. I enjoy it. And like I said, the art is just killing it. I like it a lot. Oh, here we go. Creepshow, Volume 2, Number 3. And you always get 2 scary stories per issue. Let's see who does this. There's usually different people doing it. It's an anthology. We've got one. The first story is by Zoe Thorogood, writer, artist, letterer. The second one is by the writer is Joe Farley. The artist is Goran Sudzuka. Colorist Eva Sforcina, and Pat Brousseau is on the letters. So, and this is I think the Guillaume March cover. Pretty sure that's what I ordered. And these are pretty. I like the covers a lot. That's what I bought Volume 1, and then Volume 2 was coming out, and I was like, do I want Volume 2? And I just happened to be looking through the covers of Volume 1, like, I like all these covers. I'm going to get Volume 2. And I think there's a holiday special coming out, too, that I just put on my pull list. Here's one I pulled off the shelf. Petrolhead number 1. Who's doing this one? Rob Williams and Pye Parr. Pyepar. And the cover just caught my eye. Nice orange. And I just picked it up and looked through it. The art was pretty cool. It's got sort of this the coloring just on those pages reminds me of Ken Stacy. The art reminds me. I don't know if anyone remembers his art from the '80s. Ken Stacy. He did a bunch of. I think he did stuff in Epic magazine and other things. Yeah, the color palette is definitely reminding me of him now that I see it. But this is a $5 double-sized first issue. So I figured, why not give it a try? I kind of liked the way it looked, so we'll see what Petrolhead has to. I think I saw a little. Welcome to the non-human race. That's it. Start your robo engines. So I guess it's about robots racing each other. And here is my damaged copy of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Usagi Yojimbo Director's Cut. Let's see if we can see that. They ordered me. Oh, there it is. I just had it in the light just right. Nope, now it's gone. There we go. We can see that smashed top corner. And they had to call it in damage. And he's like, if they want... Because sometimes they call stuff in damage and they just send them new copies. Sometimes they have to send the old copy back. Sometimes they have to tear off the cover and send that back. But he's like, you know what? Just take the damaged one. We'll have a new one for you. And and if they want this back, you can bring it back in. So this one, I think it's got the whole first issue of Where When in black and white, and then we've got look at that, the tools he used. Let's see what tools he used. A couple of mechanical pencils. Those look like ink pens. I don't know what kind of pens those are. Ink cartridge. It looks like he used brush pens with ink cartridges. Because he's got that big thing in the center is a box of ink cartridges. So I guess he's using brush pens. I think those yellow ones are brush pens. I don't know them though. And that's definitely a Pentel brush pen there. He's probably filling that with India ink and filling in the blacks. Oh, and he uses a black eraser. Look at that. One of those black sumo grip erasers. Stan Sakai's Step by Step. So I guess he breaks down the pages. Oh, then there's his layouts, which are really simple. I guess we get layouts and pencils, because there's the layout there, and there's the pencils. So there's just an inside look. Oh, I guess this is... I don't know what this writing is. Let's see, what is this? The following page just stands initial story synopsis. Okay. So this is the initial synopsis. So this is just a little look behind the scenes. $6 look behind the scenes. So. Then we've got Dark Ride, issue number 9. This has been fun. That's good. I think that's only 24 pages, but it's got the cardstock cover, so it still feels really good. This has been the horror story about people running a horror theme park, and there's really horror in it. Jock Williamson, Tom Riley, Jordy Beldier, Duke. Is that a G.I. Joe thing? Oh yeah, codename G.I. Joe. There we go. That is a G.I. Joe thing. But this has been a fun... I bought like all the issues, 48 issues or whatever it was of Birthright that they did, so I just jumped on Dark Ride, and I've been enjoying that one too. And let's see, we've got the latest issue of Love and Rockets Monthly. I think this is Love and Rockets Volume 5. Does it have a volume number in it? Volume 4. Number 14. Originally it was called Love and Rockets Monthly. It, of course, doesn't come out monthly. And that's what it's still on my comic shop's pull list. It's still listed as Love and Rockets Monthly. So every 6 months when I see an issue come out, I always kind of laugh when I see that title. That is Jaime's back cover and Beto's front cover. They alternate every issue, and there's also there's usually a variant edition. There it is, the variant edition down there, that I think is only available at the Fantagraphics website. What is it? In addition to the regular edition, don't miss this exclusive variant cover, limited to 400 copies at Fantagraphics.com. So I guess you could collect them too if you wanted, but I imagine with shipping they'd be pretty expensive. So, but love Jaime's work, love Beto's work. Well, look like Beto's giving us that format where he's giving us sort of a graphic novel story up here and another comic strip story down there. Interesting. Because this looks like it's going in the format. I have some books up there that are like 6x9 books that Beto puts out of like graphic novel stuff. So I'm guessing it's going to go in one of those eventually. And then the final thing I got this week was a book that I kind of It's from the black and white boom of the 80s, and I kind of always wanted to read it then, but never did. And I've, of course, forgotten about it over the years. I saw someone mentioning it on Twitter or something, and I found out there's an omnibus of Warlock 5. Pardon me. This was an Aircell book. Who does it? Den Bouvier and Gordon Derry. Forward by Colin Bunn. This came out like last year in 2022. And I didn't know it. Like I said, if I hadn't seen... I completely forgot Warlock 5 existed. If I hadn't seen a couple people talking about it on Twitter or wherever, I would have completely forgotten about it. And I never... First thing I did was look up the individual issues on eBay. And they're not expensive. Like at mycomicshop.com, they're like $2.50 an issue. But then I saw someone mention the omnibus, and I thought they were joking. I thought it was like a hypothetical omnibus they wanted of Warlock 5, because I don't think there's a huge call for Warlock 5 out there. But then I looked it up, and sure enough, it came out last year. It's $40 US, but there was a 20% off coupon at Amazon, and then I had a few Amazon bucks. So I got it for $26, I think it was. But I read the first 2 issues, and it's a lot of fun. It's black and white, and it's pretty. The artist, I think the artist is Den Bouvier. He's a lot more talented than your typical black and white boom artist. Written by Gordon Derry, art by Den Bouvier. Beauvais is however you say it. And there's also. In reading about it, there was 13 issues they did, and then they got kicked off the book for some reason, which is strange because the copyright is in Den Bouvier's name. Maybe it reverted back to him. They got kicked off their own book at issue 13, and I think they said Barry Blair took it over and did a book completely unrelated to this. And then there was a second volume completely unrelated to this. But these are the issues that everybody remembers and loves. I don't think anybody loves the issues that came after this. But there's also an unpublished issues 14 and 15 in this you get. I guess they did 2 more issues that when they got kicked off the book never saw publication. Interesting. But I read the first 2 issues and enjoyed it. It's about all these weird interdimensional beings fighting each other. What does it say? A mystical nexus, a crossroads connecting all times, all realities, along the ley lines of a grid, the multiverse of clusters. There's Savastar, shape-shifting dragon-like being, Domador, a warlord from the Dark Ages, Argon, the advanced cybernetic organism from Techno-Hell, Tanith, an ageless sorceress, Zania, a power-mad machine gun necromancer. And they're all kind of fighting each other to try and keep this grid up and running, but still take it over. One of the things I read about this was, one of the fun things about it is no one really knew what was going on. So I found that interesting, but I look forward to reading some more Warlock 5. Let me show you my latest Dreams of Things. Number 211. A couple of half faces in some strange space. That half face has got spirals all over it. That one's got sort of colorful Kirby crackle, as they have pointed hats. And I find this sort of background space of this one a little strange. My brain tries to figure it out and it can't quite. Because, where did this guy's half a head go? How does it relate to this head in real space? I don't know. But I like the way this came out. I used some kind of different color schemes than I normally do, with a lot of these browns and oranges in here. So I like the way that one came out. What are we up to? 211. Wow, that's a lot of these covers I've made. I'm going to put them together in a book one day. But there you go. Little Dreams of Things. Some comic books, a collected edition. You guys have a good week out there.